What's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. I'm your host for LV Productions. You are watching I Watch You Watch. Today we are covering Belle Collective. This is season 7. I believe this is episode 8. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video. You can share it. Also subscribe and leave your comments below. Now let's get into this week's episode. Okay. So we first opened up this episode with Tamra. Tamra is with her parents right now. Mr. Catherine and Harold. I forgot what their last name was. But anyway, she's been staying with her parents to help out with her father. We're finding out that it's not clear of what happened to him was a stroke. And it's now signs leading up to dementia. I'm taken aback because I'm like, what? So they diagnosed him with that mess, or tried to, or at least let it on that this was a stroke. Or possibly they didn't know what it was and they thought it was a stroke. You know, I'm like, dang. So my heart goes out to them. Even with Tamara saying, you know, with the signs leading towards dementia, it hurts her even more that her father knows that it's possibly dementia. So my prayers are to you and to your household, Miss Tamara. Latrice comes over. Of course, in support. So it looks like Tamara's turning around and saying, hey, I'm gonna give y'all some content now. They talk a little bit about the drama that was happening at Letitia's thing. What do you want to call it? Everybody was viewing the focus group, which only consisted of the Bells. And who's on her management team. Okay. Since they talked about that and all these rumors and stuff, Tamara said, well, look, why don't I just do something? Because y'all just don't clearly know me if you just think that I'm just doing all this with a client. She's going to plan a reintroduction event. Latrice does give her an update on her own health. She's going to be having thyroid surgery within the next couple of weeks. The doctors were already trying to ask, you want to get a hysterectomy? Which is very common amongst black women. They are quick to do that. But Tamara gives her own experience as far as with fibroid issues. Later on in the episode, she says that she's had 39 of them removed. But anyways, she said, you know, you got to make sure that you advocate for yourself. And you tell them, no, I do not want to have a hysterectomy. I'm looking forward to having some children soon. But I just find it, maybe in other races too, that's happening. But I know for black women, they're always trying to get you to have a hysterectomy. Next up, we got Glendale and Letitia. He's planned a spa day for Letitia. And of course, she's liking it. He says in his confessional, I don't know exactly what's going on with her, but I'm going to be there for her. Negro, she told you what was up with her. Letitia brings up about Carrie and Matt doing a double date, and they're liking that. She brings up the fact that it seems like Selena is trying to put the blame on her for not telling her for what she knows about this whole baby situation. And she's like, well, what's going on? Like, why aren't you gonna talk to Cliff about this? And she's gonna bring it up later with Selena, and we'll hear about all that. But Glenn says, since this happened on his social media account, you know, I had shared it on my page. She's like, yeah, I remember that. They be trying so hard to try to, Lord, like we don't know. Glenn says that he talked to Mike about it, and Mike said, that ain't me. As far as like having a baby, that he denied it. So he didn't think anything else of it. Blah 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 blah. Whatever. Selena and Letitia, they meet up. And Selena gives an update on what's going on in her life. You know, she's stressed because a lot of things aren't working out, and it doesn't seem like the people that are in her wedding party are really stepping up to help her in certain things as getting completed. Her and Mike are going to be traveling to Colombia. Remember, him and Cliff, along with more men, went down to Colombia in the first few episodes that we saw. So now they're going down there. Selena wants to get her teeth fixed. She's going to be getting some of those veneers at a good price. All I can say, Selena, You better watch yourself. Going out of the country and getting the... You have been through too much. I can't tell you not to go, but I wish you would not go. Because So we pray that all goes well, but there's been too many horror stories. Yeah, we pray that everything goes well, but there's been so many horror stories that has been happening of folks going overseas to get all of these surgeries. So, so then they talk about the whole rumor thing. Selena basically just expresses as far as with Letitia. You've been in my face, and you didn't say nothing. She said, unless I have 100% proof, I'm not bringing it. So then you brought Shantae to meet Tamara for the first time over a rumor saying that this guy is who Tamara's dating, and all you have is a picture of a guy with no proof. That wasn't proof. So what are you talking about, Letitia? Anyways, Selena was like, look, at least I could have been aware. Because you're in my face. I'm telling you about different struggles and all that are going on in my relationship, and it's just like, and obviously we know that you done gossiped to someone about it. You can act like you didn't, but you did. Come on. Then Letitia was like, okay, you are wanting me to be accountable, but are you going to talk to Cliff about all this? Selena says that Mike is going to handle the guys and I was going to handle the women. That was the plan. That's a nice setup. Cool. I guess we going married to medicine way as far as operating, so whatever. But Letitia's like, I don't want to be responsible for anything. One thing about Letitia, she's trying to find any and every way to make sure that she's not the blame or the fault for anything. Because I didn't hear her take accountability for anything. Because she did say that people have made up different false things about us. Whatever. Then I get on Carrie. It seems like Carrie was backpedaling and pussy popping on what actually was said. As far as what she said. Because she said that she got it from her husband, whom got it from Cliff. But now she's trying to say, oh, she overheard Marie and all of that. But but Cliff said that he overheard Marie telling Carrie there. So what Letitia has just said, look, I need Carrie to make sure that she's always integral. Don't show loyalty to someone by telling a lie. I could get how that could be confused because I don't really know where the rumor started at. But, oh no, at Carrie's party, that's what happened. At Carrie's party, that's when Marie told Selena what was going on, according to Cliff. But Marie says that there's no way that Cliff could have heard her. How do you know? How do you know for sure? Tell me that. But whatever. But now Letitia's like, I don't know if she's trustworthy. Isn't that your friend? The one that's been up your butt since last season? So, obviously the tides are turning, and they're going to be turning up the heat on Selena and Carrie. If y'all ain't seen what the pattern is going. Or where whatever. The next scene, Tamara is riding with Damon. Tamara tells Damon what the folks are saying about this whole rumor that she's involved, that I'm not with you. That I'm not with you. Tamara tells Damon what the rumor is that I'm not with him, and I have a current boyfriend, and she names the name of him. Who was it? We found out a little bit later. I wrote it down somewhere. But anyways, he was like, what? That is so crazy. Look, I trust you. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, there's nothing further to the truth. Did he verbatim say, I'm with you? No. But he did say that I trust you, so it would lead us to believe that they're still in a relationship. Let's see. What else? She talks about having this reintroduction event, and she wants to present to the world London Simone. Now, Damon isn't really feeling it because he doesn't want his baby around bad energy. Damon feels away, and rightfully so. And that's why it's so crazy how they just think that an apology is supposed to fix everything when you were really trying to cause some mess. Letitia and Marie in these folks' lives. So it's just like, And Damon's not feeling it. And I'm glad that he's just still staying away as much as possible. It looks like he's going to try to help Tamara out in support of her, because it seems like from production, of course we hear from the cast, they're like, look, you're going to have to start giving us something. You're going to have to start giving us something. So that's what it seems like to me. He said, you know, the men are cool, but some of them women. Marie's on the basketball court, and we finally see Drez. We haven't seen him since, what, season 2, maybe season 3? He's been away at college. Both of his sons, I don't know if he has any more children, because I heard Marie said that 2 of his sons live there, so he may have some more babies out there. But I know that she wanted him to concentrate on college, and then she was going to handle everything on her end. So they talk a little bit about what's going on in their lives. Well, Marie talks about getting a new office or a building for one of her care facilities. He didn't talk about the ex, which is interesting, but hey. Jerez is thinking about opening up his own dispensary. She says, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. Well, he asked, what did you think about that? She said, well, that's going to take a lot of money. She says that I'm not trying to sway you away from doing your own thing. Also consider what I have going on, because this is going to be a legacy for you all. And he did take that into consideration. She said, I'm not going to stop you on that. She also said in her confessional, like, I'm glad that he's not just trying to depend on me, even though this legacy is, but he wants to make money in other ways. So, and make his own legacy too. So she's behind him 100%. I see nothing wrong with it. You know, do what you do, and let's keep it, because look, no matter how I feel about Marie, her name is prominent and maybe a pillar within Jackson for being the first black woman or woman at all to do this. So yeah. You could tell that production said we got to come up with something else. I did tweet out that, and I was making a joke within it, but serious too. Like, this season has turned a right all of a sudden. Carlos once said that we ain't talking about chicken no more, Destiny. If you're a real fan of Love and Marriage Huntsville, remember Destiny came in like either 1B or 2 season 1B or season 2. She was always clashing with Kimmy, and she was talking about chicken in regards to her husband at the time, who is now her ex-husband. Yeah, but Carlos, after a while, production was like, you're gonna have to come up with something else, because she was really harping in on that and just wouldn't move from that place. Like, come on. So, yeah. So that's why we seeing Marie with someone that we ain't seen in forever. Now, the Pearsons and the Pauls, they are going bowling. And it just seems like the Pauls are always going to win. So, Letitia and Carrie, they go off to the side, and they have their own conversation. They, again, talk about what happened at her focus group meeting. They talk about the Tamara rumor. Carrie said, well, I don't know if bringing it to Tamara in the way that you did was the best way to handle it. Letitia said, let me school you on something. If I didn't bring it to the collective or to Tamara, it would have, and it got out that I knew, then it would have been, oh, well, why didn't you say anything? Like with Selena. Now you're trying to compare apples to oranges. This is my thing. I think that Marie and Letitia need to be outlawed for bringing out anything about Tamara. You're wanting to build or rebuild this group. Why would you go on and repeat the same things that is already going on? That causes dissension and separation. What you did last week was totally out of line. And if Tamara wanted to clam up one more time, I would understand. I couldn't be mad at it, you know? Or Tamara could just left, you know? Like, you're not trying to find a new way to get to know her or to earn her trust. You think that this was a way to Tamara's heart? No, it was just a bunch of mess. Reheated nachos from season 2. The same thing happened there. She said, look, it's better to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission. I think that is one of the dumbest things that came out of Letitia's mouth. You are now saying that if anyone has any boundaries, F them. I'm going to do what I got to do and apologize later. Even though y'all are trying to reestablish new boundaries. So there are no boundaries? Is that what you talked about? Because all is fair in the Belle Collective. That's what you said at the reunion. All is fair. So what's up? Because you want your husband to respect you. And now I understand what's really going on. Because a lot of what Glendale does, you do. And you probably project over here since you can't really do it in your own home. You don't respect people, but you want people to respect you. Ask for forgiveness now instead of permission. What? I think you got to choose your battles wisely. And I don't think that's traveling down the same path like you did something so noble. Because all of it is the optics is just not going to be in your favor. Your history is too bad for people to want to really give you anything. But then she said in her confessional towards Carrie, see, there's going to be some dissension between Carrie and Letitia really soon. She's trying to sun Carrie at this point. But anyways, Carrie got that mouth, but I don't know how much she still wants to be up Letitia's butt to really get Letitia together. But anyways, she was in her confessional like, I can do what I want, I can say what I want, I can go, I said, Carrie needs to, she can't tell me what to do. So that lets you know the respect that she has on you. And Carrie, you just need to stand flat-footed in who you are. But she's going to try you very soon. She's going to try you. All right. So then the husbands, they come sit with them, and then it's brought up that Glendale wants to be a part of Letitia's company as a manager. Oh. They both went, no. Glendale expresses that, this is my way that I want to be close to her. And Letitia said, well, you never told me that. That's not what he said to me. And as far as we saw on the camera, no, that's not what he said to her. But I feel like you're wanting to gaslight the people that you're telling to try to get them on your side. But Carrie's like, I don't think really them that they should be together, because they're like, oh, well, you and him, you guys work together, but it's in a different aspect of them even working. It's not like he's side by side doing anything as far as Matt and Carrie. It's not a day-to-day operation. No, you sitting up here lying, and I don't know what Letitia's going to do, but I think Letitia's always going to play the fool forever, and that's what she's going to do. Do I think incoming season 8 that this dude going to be her manager? Yeah. Even though in her confessional she says that my brand is separate from my marriage. Moving on. All right, Tamara's reintroduction. The event is being held at Smith Robinson Museum. It's the first African-American school for children in Mississippi. Tamara gives a walkthrough. She shows her parents and her life as even a child. While she was in daycare, her leg got broken. From that point on, at least for a while, her parents never allowed her to go back to daycare for that happening. And there's been such a shield around her in regards to all that stuff that she also has felt that protection, and she has not had her child in daycare forever. I don't even think now, but she's been very overprotective. She hasn't even brought the child around the group. She talks about, she shows a picture of her being a cheerleader. I think this was before high school. She said that this was so symbiotic. It shows symbolism as to who she really is, as being a cheerleader for everyone. I think I'm in that way. Now, I never was a cheerleader or anything of that nature, but I feel like I'm that way for a lot of people. Really, anyone. I'm going to push you in some type of way. Then she starts talking about her fibroids and removing 39 of the fibroids away. And now there's an introduction to Miss London Simone. London Simone comes out in her Barbie, like one of those Barbie Mercedes or Maserati cars, and with her sunglasses on, and now the cast gets to meet Miss London Simone. Damon comes out too. He stays around for a little bit, and then he's got to go to his job. He's fulfilled his duties because he don't really want to be around y'all hoodlums. And I don't blame him. So then the ladies, they go talk, and the guys, they go talk someplace else. Tamara says, look, whatever Shantae brought and said that this was 100% guarantee, I'm paraphrasing, of news and tea, is not. Her and Damon and the camera crew went over to Dr. Juice. They said another name on top of that, Dr. Juice something. He looks like a radio personality to me, but whatever. I don't know who he is. He says, look, this is the rumor that's been brought up. And they said it to his face. And he shut that down right away. Like, no, we're not. I'm glad they did it. I'm glad Tamara was smart in that way to get video footage so that they can't run anymore with it. 100% proof, Leticia. So the guys talk. Glenn ends up telling them about him wanting to be a manager for Leticia. And they was like, oh, no. Maybe you're going to have to be something else. Glenn does want Leticia to just fire first. He don't like the idea that he's just been put on a leave of absence. Whatever. But anyway. Yeah, so they suggested, hey, no. We know the ladies did state in their confessionals when London Simone, they didn't really know anything about Tamara, and she's just glad that Tamara decided to open up to them. That's for show purposes, not for you weird people. But anyways, there were some questions asked. Marie said, I want to be on a date. I brought it up to my children about being on a dating app, and they said, no. So what do you want? Do you want a man, guy, what? And she's like, man. And of course they were like, you don't want women? It's like, no. And she ended up opening up saying that when she was 18, I was young. What that got to do with anything? I had a threesome. And the girl did stuff to me. I ain't doing nothing. Basically went downtown and did her thing. Okay. But she said, you live, and that was an experience, and I'm over it. So later on, it's just the Pearsons and the Rogers. You can tell Cliff and Glenn, they've been missing each other or whatnot. They were like, it seemed like y'all need to go on a date or something. And then they ended up saying, well, why don't we go on a double date? The Pearsons and the Rogers. Cool. So I guess they're going to set up something. And that was the end of the episode. So things have turned, and I'm glad. I'm never going to stay off the necks of Leticia and Marie. But anyways, y'all can tell me what you thought of this episode. Stay tuned, because I am going to be giving you commentary on an exclusive interview that happened earlier this week, where Joshie, who is Latrice's friend, is to tell all as to what Joshie said happened, as far as did Leticia call him. But there's also some exposure from a former producer about Joshie. So I'm going to cover that on one of my sound bites. So please stay tuned to that on my channel. I'm late on it because that news hit earlier this week, but I'm just really being restored to my health again and just didn't want to do it. So I'm late to the party, but hey, hopefully you have some rounds on me. But now let's get it started. I appreciate everyone for coming. Please like this video. Some more videos coming out. The Real Housewives of Atlanta returns tomorrow. And I watched the first episode of Rhode Island. I liked it. I'm reading the internet comments. I do feel it's going to feel like I'm being negative. I feel like people like to over-exaggerate. It's good to have a new show, and I think that you're really compelled by it because of the new mess. And that's just really attracting you. Okay, and when is that going to burn out for y'all? Anyway, thank you for stopping by. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And until the next one, peace.